India is one of the fastest-growing economies in the world, but its export performance has been disappointing in recent years. India faces various challenges in its external sector, such as high tariffs and non-tariff barriers, outdated rail equipment, lack of connectivity to gateway ports, and weather-related uncertainties. Let us look at some of these challenges in detail. High tariffs and protectionist policies. India has the highest average applied tariff of any G20 country, and some of the highest bound tariff rates among WTO members. This makes Indian exports less competitive in the global market and reduces their access to foreign consumers. Moreover, India also faces non-transparent or unpredictable regulatory and tariff policies from its trading partners, especially in sectors where it has a comparative advantage, such as agriculture, textiles, and pharmaceuticals. For example, India has been involved in several trade disputes with the US over issues such as steel and aluminum tariffs, dairy products, medical devices, and intellectual property rights. Outdated rail equipment. India's rail network is one of the largest in the world, but it is also one of the most inefficient and congested. The rail infrastructure suffers from low electrification, poor signaling systems, inadequate maintenance, and frequent accidents. These factors result in slow and unreliable freight movement, which increases the cost and time of exporting goods. According to a World Bank report, India's rail freight speed is only 22 km per hour, compared to 70 km per hour in China and 120 km per hour in Europe. The report also estimates that improving rail efficiency could reduce logistics costs by 30% and increase exports by 7%. Lack of connectivity to gateway ports. India has a long coastline of over 7,500 kilometers, but it does not have enough ports that can handle large volumes of containerized cargo. Most of India's ports are congested, outdated, and poorly connected to the hinterland by road or rail. This leads to high turnaround time and low productivity at the ports, which affects the competitiveness of Indian exports. According to a study by the Indian Council for Research on International Economic Relations, ICRIER, India's average port turnaround time is 82 hours, compared to 10 hours in Singapore and 24 hours in China. The study also found that reducing port turnaround time by 1 day could increase exports by 0.7%. Weather-related uncertainties. India's export sector is highly dependent on the monsoon rains, which affect the production and quality of agricultural products. India is the largest exporter of rice, spices, tea, cotton, and sugar in the world, but these commodities are vulnerable to fluctuations in rainfall and temperature. For instance, in 2019-20, India's rice exports declined by 18% due to lower production caused by droughts and floods. Similarly, India's tea exports fell by 18% in 2020 due to heavy rains that damaged the crop quality. Weather-related uncertainties also affect the transportation and storage of perishable goods, which increases wastage and losses for exporters. These are some of the major challenges that India faces in its external sector. To overcome these challenges and boost its export growth, India needs to undertake reforms in its trade policy, infrastructure development, logistics management, and climate resilience. By doing so, India can leverage its potential as a global supplier of goods and services and contribute to its economic development.